It's monster project time again. I'm either doing a fix, a modification, or just plain maintenance. But if you're wondering why I'm doing it myself instead of getting a dealer, click on the card. It'll take you to a video or explain why I'm doing it myself. I don't have a choice. I'll also have the a link in the description as well, so you can check it out and find out what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So, took everything apart, took a break. I didn't show the process of taking the seat off and taking everything apart. For the new viewers, if that's a problem for you, you can either watch earlier videos where I've done it, or just let me know in the comments, and next time I take it off, I'll show the process. Not a problem. I'm just trying to save time. So I did take a look at everything where my wiring comes in. It's just kind of hanging free at the bottom here. So that maybe it caught on something and broke, but nope. So I gotta figure out which one is for my back light. Well, that's not hard to find, because I've got this one right here. This is the only clear one. All the others are black. So this one's nice and clear. So I don't know if you can see from that angle. This is what I was talking about, my distribution. I take the power directly from the battery, so I got 24 volts coming straight off it. Goes into my fuse, goes to here, and this is my 24 volt posts, I guess you can say. Anything I need 24 volts for, I hook onto these posts, and one of them goes over to here, which goes over to here, and these are my 12 volt posts. This is my 12 volt converter. So if I need 12 volt, I only have one thing on here right now, and that's my strobe light. So that's not a problem. But I did check the fuse. That's the first thing I did when I opened this up. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit. Take it out. And look at it. It's good. But when I go to put it back in, see if you can hear this. Get the microphone where it's supposed to be. Hope you heard that. It sparked. My first thought was, okay, the wire is shorting somewhere, but it's not a high enough current to blow the fuse. That's a 10 amp fuse, so if there was a short circuit, that would go no problem. Then I got realizing these converters, 12 to 24, 12 to 5, are always on. So there's no switch on them. As long as there's power connected to them, they're on. So that explains where the current's going. But that's quite a bit of current. That kind of surprised me, because that was a big spark. So the fuse is no problem. So I got looking at the wires, and this is the only wire, like I say, it's the only clear wire coming out of that cluster. And it splits. One goes to the power, and the other one goes up to here. So I got one on each post, which means positive and negative, and this here goes to the front of the monster. So this is definitely the light for the wire for my overhead light, which means the problem is in the front. So technically I took this apart for nothing. I still haven't got the seat belts on the batteries yet. I gotta put the front one on. I haven't done that yet since I painted it. So when I take everything apart and clean it up, I'll do that specifically, just to get that done. So technically I took this apart for nothing. My plug doesn't look melted yet. I've only got a 4 amp charger on right now anyway, so this plug shouldn't even melt. I shouldn't have a problem. I do have another one back up for when that does fail. For new subscribers, this plug is an issue. This is where when I plug the charger, okay, I got too many things going through my head at once here. When I plug the charger in, it comes through these wires. Problem is, the wires were the improper size. With the current that's going through it, it was melting this plug. And I had all kinds of issues. It took me a long time to figure out exactly what the issue was. But I finally did. Once I realized this plug was melted, replaced the plug, and problem solved. But in the meantime, I replaced the controller, I replaced the display panel, and I replaced the throttle, because technically it was a throttle error that I was getting, but it wasn't the throttle. Because everything was fine until I tried to turn the lights on. As soon as I turned the lights on, it went into error mode. And it didn't matter if I was driving or not, so it wasn't the throttle. So, first thing I thought, okay, I have a bunch of followers that have had issues with their controller failing. I believe they were 120 amp. This is a 200 amp, so it is a different controller, but even still. I just, like I say, just based on the symptoms, I had no idea. So I figured controller, replace the controller, which was like $600, I think. Replace the controller, didn't solve the issue. So I replaced the display panel, I'm not sure how much that cost. Didn't fix the issue. So okay, it's saying throttle error, maybe it actually is a throttle error. It doesn't make sense, but I'll try it anyways. Got a new throttle controller, didn't solve the issue. And I'm thinking, okay, obviously it's not the new controller, so I put the old controller back in, and that's when I noticed the socket was melted. The plastic in the socket itself was melted. So I looked at the plug, and the plug was toast. So okay, so I replaced that. This is just off a computer. It's out of a power supply off a computer. I can get it anywhere. So it's just a normal, is it Molex? I think it's called Molex plug, 2x2. So took the wires out one at a time, matched it up with this plug. No problem. Until the next time it melted, but I know to look for it now. But the problem is, my other chargers quit working. I'm only using the ES950's charger now, which is 4 amp instead of 8. So, you know, I got less current going through here, so it's not a problem. It's not causing an issue at all. Obviously, because it's been more than a year now, I think. At least a year anyways. And there's no sign of melting on that plug. No sign of overheating at all. I hate having a black one, because I can't tell if it's been overheated when it's black. Because the clear ones, when they overheat, they turn black. So it makes it kind of obvious. So, all good that way. I forget the point of saying that now. Oh yeah, I mentioned the plug. That led me into the conversation. Oh my god, not again. Okay. So there's really nothing else I can do here. Well, last time I had the seat up, the seat was a real pain to get off, so I greased it. I greased the post and I greased the hole. It came off no problem this time whatsoever. So, yeah, it's a good thing I did that. But I can't believe the dirt that collects in. There's so much, the monster just generates such a dust cloud. It all comes up in here. And I know someone's going to say, you should clean it. Well, if I clean it, I go for a drive tomorrow, it's going to look like this again tomorrow. I'll clean it when I need to fix stuff in here. And I got grit. It flies up from the trail. It's insane. It's impossible to keep this thing clean all the time. I used to blow this out, but if I drive in the rain, it gets damp, and then it sits in place. And it's not dust anymore at that point. So I do have to take this apart because I gotta fix these plugs, which is what I think is, there's one right there, which is what I think might be the issue with the lights not working. I can't see that one. That one actually doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna change these plugs anyways, and the one on that side's corroded. The tech guy actually noticed somewhere on here, right there. The tech guy actually noticed that when he was putting the new batteries in. So I'm thinking that might be an issue, being as they're corroded. They're probably shorted or something, and that might be why my static lights are not working. That's just a guess, but I'm going to assume so. Corrosion can cause all kinds of issues. And at some point I gotta hook my rear tail lights up. That'll be nice and easy because I can tap into it right here. One on each side. Nice and easy. I guess that's it. I can't do anything in here because there's no problem in here. So I gotta follow the wire. Wherever it is, right there. Okay, I don't know why that's like that, but this side is good. I didn't use the right wire for this anyways, but that's okay. So all is good inside. I gotta take the front apart, which I'm not gonna do right now. I will continue this project when I do the wiring and everything in the front. When I wire up those plugs permanently, I'll do it then. Probably. Because I just, Reese. I just don't have the energy today. And I'm kind of worrying about doing too much because I don't want to wreck my legs for 3 days again. Oh, that hurts. My back's hurting now already too. So somebody asked about the batteries, and these are not stock batteries that came with the Monster. These are actually bigger. They were 70. I think they were 72 amp hour originally, and they were gimped right from the beginning. I had one of the terminals was leaking acid and all that, and I just, like, in 6 months they weren't working anymore. So my dealer sent me these, and these were too big, so I had to cut the front panel off because they're sticking out so far. They're like a couple inches too long. But that's why I have this cover on, just to keep the rain off of them. And I just pull the mat up, stick it under the edge of the mat, and it keeps the wind from blowing it up until it pulls out, which it tends to do. Oh my goodness. I put that back in. So this does have 3 screws. There's just a couple more screw holes, one on each side here, but ever since the frame broke, it's kind of bent backwards and all these panels are twisted. I can get it in place. Yeah, it's not sealed at all. There's all these places where the all these places where the dirt can get in. Okay, that side's not gonna go in. Trying to get the slot in the hole here, but this side doesn't want to go in. It's lined up. This doesn't want to go in. But anyway, That's why this is here. And this rubber gasket here, or rubber boot, whatever you want to call it, kind of holds the front down so the whole thing doesn't lift up. So I'm done for today. So I guess this project is incomplete, and at some point we'll continue. And that's good timing. I have like 8 seconds to spare before my alarm goes off. And there it is. I guess that's for those that haven't seen it. I'll show you the process of putting the seat back on. I'll just do it in fast time. And that's how I do that. So, for new subscribers, this is a cannonball rail. It's right here. This is for barn doors, sliding barn doors. I just kind of turned it into a winch. I put a pulley system on it. Because the monster seat is super heavy, and I hurt my back a few years ago. I got the monster stuck, and I tried to lift the front end up. My back went snap really loud, and I just dropped. And I've always had a bad back anyways, but that's the first time anything like that happened. It scared the crap out of me, but all was good. I don't know what that was. I think kind of like cracking a knuckle. I think it was kind of the same thing, only with my spine. It freaked me out. But either way, if you want to see that video, I think it is called The Monster and I Both Get Injured or something. I think so. I'll stick a card up there you can click on if you want to watch that video. So I put this in, put a winch system up here so I can lift the seat with less risk of hurting myself. It cost me about $200 altogether. I've gone through 3 different ropes till I finally found a rope that actually works properly. The rope that came with the pulley system itself, it worked really well, but it's twisted rope. So anytime it got tight, it would twist up, and it was causing all kinds of problems. So this is just, I think, just basic white paracord. It doesn't twist, so it works well. I'd like to have 4 pulleys instead of 3. It's a three pulley system. 4 would give it that extra ease, but it works the way it is. I'm happy with it. I can lift the seat off, no problem. I lift the front of the monster up, no problem. So my project's done for today. So next time I take this front end apart, when I'm going to do the wiring, I'll complete the job. I'll finish it off. I hope. If I find the problem. If not, I'm going to have to rewire the whole thing, and I really don't want to do that. But if I have to, I have to. So this particular project is now on hold.